I'm Adiba. I was born and raised in Chittagong. I did entirety of my schooling there until university, for which I moved to Dhaka, where I studied BBA in IBA University of Dhaka. And right after graduating, I joined British American Tobacco, based out of Dhaka as well, in the Human Resources Department. And I've been there for 6 years, a little over 6 years now, but never had a boring day there. I got to work here. I got to work in Hong Kong and Korea for a while. And then currently my role is based out of Dhaka. And I'm headed to do my MBA in University of Cambridge starting September this year. Honestly, it started when I was applying for my undergrad. That was a really long time ago, almost 10 years ago. That was the first time I thought maybe I should explore something outside the country. I got into a couple of places, but at that time, it was not financially possible for me to take that decision. So I decided to stay back, and I was lucky enough to get into a really good institution in Dhaka. So I chose that. And honestly, it has given me really good return on investment studying in here so far, both, mentally as well as intellectually, given what I got out of that institution, right? So, yeah, that seed was planted almost 10 years ago. Then I started work. And then I started seeing the world a little bit as well through work, through travel. And that's when I think that seed started growing a lot faster and a lot more exponentially. And I would say maybe it was around the time when I had my first international assignment in South Korea, when I fell in love with the lifestyle that comes with living in a walkable city. And that's when I really started thinking that it's time, or it's almost time for me to start investing in the next step of my career and my professional life. All right, so I'm going to be studying MBA. So I am continuing my studying in business essentially. And the reason I wanted to study at a university like Cambridge is because it's, again, 100-year-old institution. It comes with a lot of legacy, it comes with a lot of history. But even in the business department in itself, they are a relatively new program when it comes to business, but they have made very, very huge success even in the last couple of years in terms of the quality of alumni that they're producing. Cambridge in itself is a very interesting town. A lot of people say that the most used mode of transport there is a bicycle. So maybe I should start learning how to ride one soon. But just the lifestyle in itself, everybody is riding everywhere, they're walking everywhere. You're getting to have a picnic in the middle of nowhere. There's greenery everywhere, so that environmental aspect of the life at Cambridge is also something that drew me. But I guess more importantly, it's very close to London. It's only an hour and a half away, where a lot of economic opportunities exist. But within the Cambridge city itself, there is a huge tech hub. They call it the Silicon Fen, that has risen up. And there's a lot of AI startups there, a lot of tech firms that are opening up. So in terms of the opportunities, I felt like, it was calling my name. And hence I applied and somehow got in. Growing up, I've always seen that women are underrepresented across industries. Even when I was going to my university in Dhaka, right? Even there in IBA, we were a handful of women, right? So women in business are always underrepresented. Even when I went into BAT, I saw that, okay, while at an entry level, you see a lot of women, the more you grow, the more you are climbing the ladder, that percentage is substantially decreasing, right? So now I'm at a senior role at BAT. So most of the rooms and the forums and the meetings that I go into, I am usually one of the very few women there, right? Coming from that background, and then now sort of expanding into the global economy, I know that there are going to be a lot more women in the Western side of the world. But how many of those women will be Bangladeshi or South Asian or people of color, right? It is still an international phenomenon where women of color are underrepresented in forums, in senior leaderships, in business. So I think it's very important that that representation exists in these economy so that people understand our challenges, our problems, but more importantly, they understand that our perspectives also hold a lot of merit and value. So that's what I intend to do. And I also intend to inspire more women into pursuing a career in business so that when they see there's more of us and we're intelligent and we have things that we want to bring into the world and perspectives that can change and bring about innovation and improvement, I think the perception that people have about women of color, especially women from South Asian descent, will gradually improve a lot. We will find our voice and we will be able to make a difference. I don't know about 5 years, but let me try and walk myself through it as well as we speak, right? I know that I want to spend the next couple of years in the UK. I want to be around some of the smartest people coming in from all over the world. And I want to then try and find something in the UK work-wise, where I would have the opportunity to work in a thriving industry, be it consulting, be it tech, be it FMCG, and I want to start making my mark in the Western side of the world. After that, honestly, like after the first couple of years, I am very open to exploring other parts of the world as well. I'm open to maybe moving to the Middle East, to Southeast Asia, to Australia. I really don't see myself being grounded in one part of the world forever. I'm also open to, at some point in my life, coming back to Bangladesh to bring in some of the learnings that I'm getting out of all the exposures and experiences that I have been very fortunate to get throughout my life, to bring that back home and try to do something with it as well. So it's very hard to visualize a life where I am confined in one part of the world for me personally. But yeah, I think for me, picture of success would look like in 5 years, I've seen the world, I've been around, I've worked with people from every corner of the world, I've learned things that I'm proud to have learned, and I've done things for businesses that I am proud to have achieved. So that's how I would visualize my 5 years. When I first found out that I got it, of course, it's always nice to win something. It gives you a dopamine boost, right? So I was really grateful that I got this funding. And I was also thinking about how cool this initiative is to begin with, because I haven't seen a lot of these initiatives run locally where they're trying to support students who are taking the next big leap in their lives, right? So I had a lot of respect for the initiative, the people who designed it as well. And in terms of what it does for me, honestly, moving abroad, using up your life savings, and taking such a big decision, especially when you come from a very secure career, when your career so far has been quite nice and fulfilling, is a very, very hard decision, right? There's a lot of mental and a lot of even social pressure that you feel when you're taking a decision like that. And on top of that, the finances add a lot of other burdens. So having a portion of my airfare covered is quite a big relief from that perspective. And I'm very, very grateful for the initiative that led me to get this. I would say to start planning right now. That's my first advice, right? When it comes to studying abroad, there is so much prep that goes behind it, especially if you're going to a university which is competitive. You need to start preparing for your GMATs. You need to start preparing for how you would frame your experiences and how you would rewrite your CV. There's 100 things that you need to do. And considering the fact that you're probably already working, there's not a lot of time in the world to do that, right? So my first advice is plan ahead. My second advice would be dream big, right? Life might be comfortable right now. You might be very happy where you are in terms of your job, in terms of your social life, but really dream big, right? Think about what this leap will do for you, how that can be the fulcrum for the next big development in your journey, right? So that's two. And third is think about it like an investment. The education that you are earning, especially if it's from a reputed university, is going to give you returns for the rest of your life. Even if that return in today's economy is not immediate in the form of a job, in the form of a very sort of successful career immediately, it's something that you will hold on to, that will be something that's part of your identity for the rest of your life. And it can be a big equalizer, especially for women of color in a very competitive world, right? So this would be my top 3 things for any Bangladeshi who is exploring a education abroad. I think it would be very similar to the advice that I'm giving to the other people who are applying. Probably I would stick to the second one for me, right? The advice I would give myself would be to always do the best that I can, always take on stretch projects. It can be personal projects, it can be professional projects, it can be outdoing yourself at work, but also trying to do something for the community outside as well. And of course, I will advise myself to never, ever get too comfortable with anything, right? Life might seem like it's as good as it gets sometimes, but I think it's very important that we always push ourselves for the next big adventure in life. So that's the advice I would give myself. I've very preliminarily gotten to explore it. I'm going to be honest. I haven't gotten into the nitty gritty details of it, but from the looks of it, yes, a platform like this really helps. It helps people sort of, understand that there are initiatives out in Bangladesh that will help you, that will look after you and support you when you're trying to take a very arduous and very labor intensive journey, right? So it's really reassuring that there are initiatives and projects out there that helps you out. And I think that these initiatives, especially for people who are coming from certain economic hardships and people who are coming from underrepresented backgrounds, it goes a really, really long way to help them fulfill their dreams.